Welcome back. Hump Day. Thomas Miller back with the Fun Astrology podcast for May Day, May 1st, 2019. Well, God, looking at this chart, have the last couple of days for you been just a little bit wonky? I mean, yes, I don't like it when the days start out like this where you just have that right off the bat, but I had that yesterday. And then, so I'd been talking on here about our new dynamic, Saturn, and by the way, Saturn has now crossed over the South Node on its way to Pluto. So just looking at this, if you're looking at the daily chart, you get a visual. It's been Saturn and Pluto with the South Node in the middle. Now it's South Node, Saturn and Pluto are sitting side by side. So what every astrologer has been predicting for 2019 is now in full alignment. In fact, by looking at it, except for the moon, nothing will come between it and Pluto until January. But if you've been listening to this, you know that the wrecking ball is only in your own mind. We can work with this energy, so not to fear. We will work our way through it. Now, what is the other thing this week that is still in place? And this is probably some of the challenges that I felt yesterday and maybe some of the things that you've been feeling. Mercury is in this grand square, okay? We talked about this, last week or the week before? With, I believe it was the moon was involved in one of the nodes. But anyway, here are the planets. So Mercury, and then you have the North Node, and that is sitting directly opposite Saturn. And also I would throw into that aspect Pluto. So, yeesh. You look at this chart and you wonder, I wonder how people who don't understand this are getting through it. I just truly don't understand. But what have we got? So that's a grand square. So in other words, Mercury is sitting up in Taurus. Think about that. That's the point of think of a pyramid. That's up at the top. Okay. The base sides, North Node, and of course from that is always the South Node. That's just presumed. The North Node and South Node always are opposites. It's what they are. They're north and south opposite nodes of the moon. But then sitting across from that are the other big two of the big three, Saturn and Pluto. So my little issue started off yesterday with trying to buy a new audio board for a new radio show that I'm starting. And it was a communication issue with the vendor. And fortunately, they are great at communication. So we worked through it very quickly, but I had to stop, pull over, get out my computer, do a bunch of stuff that I really just shouldn't have done because everything was in place for the transaction to take place. It was just a communication issue. So there's Mercury sitting up at the top of this pyramid on this grand square, and Mercury rules communication. So we're talking about, and at the base of the pyramid, we have our node, our North Node. That's, communication challenges, especially kind of related to the areas where we are supposed to be growing into. Now, if you have not done a self-study on the nodes, there's quite a bit of material. There were a couple of great sites, and one of them's not up anymore, but you have to do some digging around on this, but look up, the Google search would be North Node in chart. And you don't have to read an astrology chart. There are sites where you can just put your birthday in and it will tell you. It's all done just by your birthday. So the time and the location doesn't matter. One of the interesting things about the nodes, and I won't get off into that because that's another topic for another day, but it's based on your birthday. So once you get what your north and south nodes are, so like right now, a baby born today would have their north node in Cancer, their south node in Capricorn, okay? That's what you go interpret. So then you start reading all about North Node X, whatever yours is, and South Node X. And be sure to search both because you'll get information separately and together based on the website. That is really important stuff because what the North Node is telling us is that's why we're here. And that's what we will resist moving toward because the South Node, that's our comfort zone. That's where we're at home. That's where we feel good. It's the North Node where we feel challenged. So when we throw communication into that matrix of trapped right in between where we're headed and where we're going, and then also our other big two guys, our karmic cousins, our boys with the club, Saturn and Pluto, our wrecking crew, you see what it, like one snap statement, boom, could throw up a big deal of misunderstanding. Be gentle with communication right now. That's the bottom line. There's more going on, but we only have time to just take a little snippet, and I try to make it one of the best ones that will affect your day. So just be a little bit prudent with your communication today. It could be very entwined with your karmic purpose. Just be mindful. Being mindful is the key, and you've got it from listening to this. Go out and make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.